I keep adding to this jar. My rules, baby. Book sticks. Put this here and then pick our next book. This is where the tables turn. What? To think I was going to throw away this amazing book. Okay, I need points for book buying. So we're gonna use my TBR jar to pick my reads for this week so that I can get extra points. I have laid out all of the book options that I have for this, and I'm going to put them all in this jar, and I will pick one book at a time to read so that I can rack up points. So for this, I am planning on mostly listening to audiobooks. I don't have any sequels for series that I haven't started, and I've removed books that I'm planning on reading for specific videos. Also, these are all books by Black authors because it is still February. There are some books that I'm really excited about and some that are super intimidating and that I'm very scared to read, which is why completing each of these books will be at least 3 points. And if it's a extra large book, it can be 4 to 5 points. Every 5 points, I get to buy a book. So some books, just by completing them, will be 5 points on its own. Okay, so here are our options. Let's pick our first read. Close my eyes. First read. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, yes! This one is a super easy pick. Okay, starting off nice. TBR jar. Mwah! Thank you. Rom-com romance. Let's get into it. Okay, so first book down. I have finished Savvy Shelton Feels Good as Hell. And this seems like it's going to be a big body positive book, and in some ways it is. We have our main character who's in a crap relationship with a guy who breaks up with her because she's letting herself go. Ugh. And so she decides that she's going to focus on herself, work out, get a hot revenge body and make him regret it. And then in the process, obviously, she discovers things about herself and finds somebody else who's more worthy of her. And so, yeah, because of that, obviously there are some, oh, my body's not good enough moments in it, which I can see can be frustrating, but I do feel like the book mostly focused on trying to be healthy over just trying to lose weight, even though that was something that she originally wanted to do. And so, yeah, I don't know. I didn't love the romance aspect of it. Like, it was fine. I like the idea more than anything. It was enjoyable. It's a 3 stars. I had a good time. Didn't love it, unfortunately, but it was fine. Like, this is why I love these kinds of books, because even if I feel meh about it, I enjoy myself. So that does mean it's time to figure out what our next book is. We've got 3 points on the clock. That doesn't really make sense, but we've got 3 points. Every 5 points, I can buy a new book. So we are partway there. Whoop whoop. Oh, and I guess before we do this, I should mention that I do have 2 books unrelated to this that I will also be reading this week in addition to these, but neither of these will be finished this week, so it shouldn't actually affect this whole thing, but I was already reading them. The first one being Black Leopard Red Wolf by Marlon James, which, trigger warnings, beware if you decide to read this. I will probably talk about it more in whatever video I actually finish it in, because a lot to unpack. This book is not for everybody. And then the other book is Razor Blade Tears, which I've read before, absolutely loved it. I'm reading it again for a book club and been having great discussions, but every week we go over a quarter of it, and then the weekend after next will be our final one. So won't finish it in this video. But yeah, we've completed the first book. But let's figure out what my next read is going to be. Oh, I'm nervous though, because I got so lucky with the first one. I don't imagine we're gonna get lucky or as lucky with the next one. So let's see what I get. Okay, this, what is it? Oh, okay. Whoops, I dropped it. Our next book, I keep holding it upside down. Why? Okay, our next book is the second in a series, and it is Hard Dough Homicide. Let me find the book. Coming over to the TBR corner. Why am I not seeing it right off the bat though? We have Soul of a Killer. Okay, there we go. The fates have chosen our next book, Hard Dough Homicide. Let's get into it. Okay, hello, we have finished our second book. We finally get a point. This was Hard Dough Homicide. This is the second in the Spice Isle Bakery Mystery series. I am currently printing out and cutting more mini TBR books for next month. Since this is so much fun, I want to do this more in the future. Plus I have more plans for these. I'm thinking of doing a dedicated video on how I make these if you're interested. It's pretty simple though, so I don't really think it's all that necessary, but anyway, the book. It was very similar to the first one. We have a bakery, a murder ends up happening in their vicinity, and it makes the family slash owners get involved to try and figure out what's going on to clear themselves of any involvement. Now, it's funny, I've heard some people in the past talk about like, this is why they don't like cozy mysteries. Basically, having somebody who is untrained solve a mystery seems kind of silly, this, that, and the other. And I get it. I did see it a little bit with this one. It was still just a general good time though, you know, like that's the thing. I feel like cozy mysteries, romances, things of that nature are usually enjoyable even if the story is meh. I don't know how to describe it. I liked it. Like, I'm going to continue the series, although I'm interested in seeing what kind of murder or whatever will happen in the next one. If it's going to be in a similar vein, if it's going to be completely different. Like, I do know we are setting up certain relationships that can make sense for other stuff moving forward, but we're like not there yet. And there were some consequences in this one that I really appreciated that I feel like you don't always get in cozy mysteries. Like, you'll have these just like, what are they called? Amateur sleuths who are solving crimes left and right, and they suffer little to no consequences for getting this. In this case, we got to see some of that, and I really appreciated it, and I think it was handled for the most part pretty well. So I liked it. I actually think it's closer to the 4-star range for me because of how much I enjoyed it, how much I like the family and the characters. I do think the main character is a little bit insufferable with somebody else in the series, but other than that, I like it, and I see that it's playing for the future, right? It's just setting things up for the future, which I'm here for in general, even though I found it a little annoying here. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's time to pick another one. So we can put this here and then pick our next book. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this. This is already Sunday. It is kind of late since I didn't think to start doing this until kind of later in the day. I'm excited to see how many I can get through in the next couple of days. I do have to edit videos and stuff, but we're gonna be reading. I'll be listening to audiobooks while I'm working. Hopefully I should be able to get through a good chunk, fingers crossed. Let's see. What do we get this time? Okay, I have to close my eyes. Want to mix things up. This time we're getting this. What is this? Oh, okay. Another mystery series. This is the first in the series. It's Dead Dead Girls. Okay, let's see if we can find it. Back at the TBR corner. Everything is generally in the same area, so it should be right here. I don't know if you can see that. Here we go. So now I'm just gonna pull this up on my phone while I continue to cut out my little book covers. Ton of progress. Look at all of these book sticks that I ended up with. So I just have to cut them, all of the individual books free, and then they're ready to go into the jars. So I have all of those. I still have a bunch that are printed. I still have a bunch that need to be printed. Like, there's so much still left to do, but making progress. I have more than enough to play for next month, basically. So that's good. Also, success. I finished Dead Girls. And this is another cozy mystery, but featuring a Black character in the Roaring 20s. And that's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, like a lot. This one is my favorite so far for today. I enjoyed this the most. It was a good time. I'm excited to continue the series, see how things go, what direction it went. I will say I did guess some things, but there were some surprises in how things were handled, and I was just interested in seeing how it would go down. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with it. And that means we've completed 3 books. We're 1 away from 2 book points. We're doing pretty good. Day 1, success. So hopefully we can keep up this momentum. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Good morning. So it is day 2 of me using my TBR jar to pick my reads for the week. And it is morning time. I'm about to go do my workout and I need to figure out what I'm gonna read. I technically slept in this morning, so I'm kind of behind. I don't have as much time before work as I would like, but I still have a couple of hours. So we could still make that progress. Let's choose that next bad boy. Okay, yesterday I read 2 books that have sequels that I own. So let's find them in my not for this month jar and put them in the one that we pull so that I could continue theoretically. I keep adding to this jar though. So it's gonna be harder and harder to find these things. Here's one. So this is the sequel. Harlem Sunset is the sequel to Dead Girls, which was the last book we read. So we've got that as an option. And then, oh, maybe I don't actually have the other book. It's time to pull. I'm gonna close my eyes and I'll mix these up and I'll go for whatever this is. Oh, I'm scared. What is it? Oh, you can't. Oh, okay. We got our first nonfiction, Hood Feminism. We gonna learn today. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I'm just gonna be listening to the audiobook for this. This is not gonna be my only time. I'm gonna reread this because I'm gonna wanna annotate it, and I'm not doing that for this video. So for this one, we're gonna go through it. We're gonna absorb what we absorb. We're going to enjoy it. And then in the future, I'm gonna bust out my annotating tools and go in on it because I've heard good things about this. Also, even though it's not a big book, because it's a nonfiction, I'm gonna give myself 4 points instead of 3, because I can do what I want. My rules, baby! I'll start this, go fill up my water bottle, because you gotta hydrate, and then I will come back after my workout. Book number 4, let's do it. Okay, hi. Hello. So, time has passed. I am 69% into, I love how this is like my 3rd time giving this update and I only just now realize I'm 69% into this. Apparently I'm an adult most of the time and right then I was a child. Okay, so I'm 69% into the book. I probably could have finished this, but I had a really early random meeting that just like popped up out of the blue that ended up eating into my reading time. So I will continue this while working on some of my work tasks. So I should be able to finish this and start the next one, but I did want to give an update. I am really enjoying this. I am a little sad that I'm just listening to the audiobook because I do want to come back and annotate. There have been plenty of things that I want to annotate, but I also enjoy annotating rereads. So I don't know if that's the worst. I think the reason why it's a bummer for me to wait to do the annotations is because I really want to reread books that I've already annotate and, you know, experience that, but I won't be able to do that in this case, even though there are plenty of things that I think would be nice to annotate. I actually think that might be more enjoyable for fiction books more than anything else. I'm enjoying this. I really love the conversation around mainstream feminism, focusing on the needs of mostly upper class white women and or upper class women just in general, which tends to ignore the needs of minorities and lower class women in general. And that if we really want to lift up all women and put us all in an equal footing, we have to address some problems that aren't always considered feminist, and there's explanation as to why those are important to help every woman, basically. And I appreciate that. I think that's a really interesting conversation, and I don't know, I'm just really liking it so far. I also like the inclusion that is being made in this and just the different conversations. So far, I'm enjoying this. I imagine I'll finish this pretty soon, and then we'll be able to get another book point. I don't have very many book points yet, but we are making some progress on my TBR at least, so that's nice. I will say that while I was listening to the audiobook, I was working on making more mini books for the TBR jar. So this is all stuff for the future. I did order some chalk labels so that I can label all of these jars. I have a whole bunch of them because I'm going to be using them for different things, but these are ones that won't be used this month because these are mostly non-Black authors, but there are some, right? So like sequels and or books that I don't own and stuff like that. Like I don't want to buy new books for this particular challenge. Okay, I have finished Hood Feminism. I enjoyed it. I highly recommend this book just in general. I feel like it would benefit from me not rushing through it. So I do look forward to a second read in the future where I can kind of slowly absorb everything. I did start getting a little bit bored because I wasn't fully in the mood, and then like it would like say something and I'd be like, get into it. I want fiction right now, if I'm being honest with you, but I do love a lot of the conversations that this was having, the inclusion, the commentary. I think this did a really good job, and I think everyone would benefit from it just to start the conversation, right, of all of these different topics, because I think that was great. But that does mean it's time for us to pick the next book. These are all of the books that I've read so far this year, so I can go ahead and add Hood Feminism to that. Okay, now for our next book. I hope it's not another nonfiction. I mean, I'll get more points if it is. Like, I really want something that's more casual, you know, like my first couple of picks from yesterday. So, fingers crossed. Okay, what are we gonna get? I don't know what this is. Oh, yes! Just what I'm looking for. Sweet. Okay, let's find this bad boy. Go over to the TBR corner. We've got a romance. I feel like every time, here we go. This bad boy, The Fastest Way to Fall by Denise Williams. I've read a couple of things from her before. She tends to go on more tough topics. I don't know if this is going to be as lighthearted as I'm hoping, but hopefully it should still be enjoyable and in a quick read. So I will give you updates when I've made some progress. Okay, so I just finished The Fastest Way to Fall by Denise Williams, and I loved it. I felt the chemistry. I liked the conversations. I appreciate that the author did put some trigger warnings in the beginning for some people who are not ready to handle this sort of conversation and topic, because a lot of it is around weight loss and weight and body image and the frustrations of being a bigger woman. And I just really appreciated it, and overall I enjoyed it. Even when like things were going wrong, I feel like it was handled in a way that was believable and that wasn't super upsetting, even though things didn't quite go exactly how, you know, like it just, this was good. This was really, really good. This definitely blew my expectations out of the water, and I'm so glad that I read it. All right, another one down. Look at this stack growing. Now it's time to pick the next book. Let's do it. This is kind of fun. This is terrifying. This totally takes all of the choice. I am generally a mood reader, even though I love TBRs because it gives me a box to focus on. But within that, I like picking. So it is interesting, and I'm surprised that it's going so successfully so far. I shouldn't have said that, should I? This is where the tables turn. This is what happens to me for my TBR game. I always say something like this, and then it bites back. If I get king, that's probably the scariest book I currently have in here. If I get that, that's literally me jinxing myself. Okay, let's see. Now part of me wants to get it just because. No, I don't. Okay. What is it? Okay, it's not King, but it is another one that I've been scared to read, which is Such a Fun Age by Kelly Reid. So no more fun, cute books. This one's a general fiction about race and racism. And it looks like it's right here at the top. There we go. Good morning. Okay, updates. I started Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid, and this is not exactly what I was expecting it to be. So we have an altercation with a young Black woman who is babysitting a white child at a very fancy supermarket, and a rich, entitled white lady decides to call the security on her because she thinks that the girl stole the baby. And so she has to deal with that, get the parents to come pick up the child, and get the hell out of Dodge. But somebody ends up filming it and gives her access to the video, even though she's like, I don't want anything to do with this. I just want to pretend this never happened and go on with my life. I will say that experience was very unfortunately relatable. I feel like the way that it was handled was something that I was like, I get that. Like, I've experienced very less versions of things like that where like somebody's just like out of pocket coming at you and you're just all like, I don't want to deal with it. Like, okay, like you're wrong, but I'm gonna go live my life. And there was just something about that I was all like, wow, like I hate this, but I understand it. And then it takes a turn because then we're hearing from the mother of the child's perspective, and we're hearing about the person who filmed it, which is, you know, like a white. So it seems like we're learning from the white people around her in this experience in addition to her point of view. And I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm not very far into it, but it's just not what I was expecting. So I'll let you know when I'm further along or when I finish what I think, but that probably won't be for a while because I need to do some editing before work. Not feeling the best. I haven't recently. I'm not going to be doing my morning workout today. I'm skipping that. And I'm instead just going to try and be cozy, another cozy day, and edit videos and work and just be heads down. So I will probably try and finish this later tonight, and then we'll do more new stuff tomorrow. We'll see though, but that's where we're currently at. So I will give you an update later. Okay, hi, hello. I actually have some packages that are very related to what we're doing here. So open these up. I ended up getting a bunch of these star crystals to use as book tokens. And I had this Alice in Wonderland tea tin that I figured I can put them all in. And then the ones that I have to use, I can put in a separate little bag to keep track of. So yeah, I guess we should figure out where I'm currently at book tokens and points right now, since this whole video is about getting more points so I can get more tokens. Okay, so I just counted all of these tokens to make sure that I wasn't missing any, and everything is there. And then I ended up picking, I decided that I would use these moon tokens to count as 5 tokens, and then each of the stars would count as 1. So for February, February, I'm starting off with 2 moon tokens and 7 star tokens, 17 points. And then I'm gonna keep them in here. Now, talking about what we've achieved so far in this video, 3, 6, 9, 13, because this was an extra point, 16. So that means we can get, 5, 10, 15, that's 3 book tokens. 1, 2, 3 book tokens, and then we have 1 point left over. So we can put these with my other book tokens, and then I'm actually gonna go through and clear this out based off of the purchases that I have already made this month, which I do have written down in my little spreadsheets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which means that we only have 2 more book tokens, which is why we're doing this. So we'll see what I end up with that can hopefully go over to next month, because starting next month, all of my subscription box books will come out of these as well. That's not happening this month because I didn't plan it, and I have a lot of subscription boxes that I'm currently subscribed to. Shame, y'all! But that is why we're here, trying to read more than I buy. That is the goal. Okay, good morning. I'm like 70 something percent into this book, and I see it now. I get it. I get what it's doing. I appreciate it. I'm interested to see where things go. The conversations are strong, and it's funny because it is all about the Black experience, but it's not focusing on the Black characters. Like, we get, like, she's a big part of it. She's the main character, but we're hearing all of these other voices, and I can't even, like, the conversations, and I am afraid, like, I wonder how much of it goes over people's heads. Like, I wonder how, I have to see where this goes. I have to see how this takes the conversation, because right now I'm seeing things that to me, I'm all like, it's just so obvious. And I imagine any other Black woman, same, but other people, I wonder, I don't know. I wonder. And it's also funny because there's valid points that are made in all of these other scenarios. Oh my God. I can't. I can't. I will let you know my thoughts when I finish it. But right now, whew, didn't know where this was going. It is literally snowing. The first time I've left in a while during the winter that doesn't snow. So if I want more snow, I need to just leave the house more often. That's what you're telling me. I have finished Such a Fun Age, and I don't know. My feelings on this, I don't love everything that it did, but I do love what it was trying to achieve, and I do like some of the stuff that it did, and I feel like it was an interesting take on the conversation, and I really appreciate that, like having that different perspective. But do I actually love how it went down? I don't know, but I literally just finished it, so like, I guess check out the monthly wrap up for my final thoughts once I'm able to kind of sit on it. Because right now, I really like this. Part of me wants more, but part of me is also happy with what we got. I liked the little ending bits that we got as well, which I don't know if that's everybody's cup of tea, but I liked it in these circumstances, and I like the questions that it brought up, and just I feel like I'm talking myself in circles. In general, I liked it, and that means it's time to pick our next one. So, what will I read next? Let's go with whatever this is. Oh, okay, nice. Another murder mystery. So this one is 2 parts sugar, 1 part murder. Let's do this. Work is over, so I can kind of go in. I was actually thinking of going downstairs for a little bit, enjoy the area. I haven't spent a lot of time there, but I have the place to myself for a couple of days, and I'm gonna enjoy it. So yeah, let's start the next book, and I will give you an update when I make some progress. hello, hello. So it is Saturday and I have just finished 2 Part Sugar, 1 Part Murder. I took a couple of days off because I was just basically dealing with other stuff, busy at work, all things going on. About the book, I've been kind of questioning how I feel about cozy mysteries and whether or not they're my jam, because I've read a couple recently that I felt kind of meh. Like, I enjoyed them, they were fine, they were a good time, but I didn't like love them. I did really like Dead Girls, but this doesn't feel like a cozy mystery in the same way that something like 2 Part Sugar, 1 Part Murder does. By the way, all of these books are linked down below if you are interested in grabbing them yourself. I suggest using those links because it helps assist out at no extra cost from you. But I also write down the names of the books as well so that you can look them up on your own if you don't want to use the links. But yeah, this one I feel like it was a little bit more of a serious tone than anything, so it doesn't feel the same as, say, this or this, right? These are cozies. These are silly, lighthearted, etc. I love the family aspect of this. I do really enjoy it. But I, very surprisingly, loved everything about this. Like, I really enjoyed it. In the beginning, I was questioning it because I didn't love the main character. I did listen to the audiobook and I really liked the narrator. So if you don't like the narrator, maybe it's not going to be your cup of tea. But we have our main character is basically a kind of rich, spoiled brat character who, on a random whim, ends up going to a very small town to follow up on her aunt's death because she has inherited her bakery and house. But there's a stipulation that she has to live there for a year before she can do anything like sell it, because I think her original plan was all like, oh, I'll sell the place so that I can buy some more Jimmy shoes, you know? And so she gets there, meets new people, things start happening, and then she gets swept up in a murder in the bakery. And so she's trying to figure out what's going on. It's cute, it's silly, not everything makes sense. I loved the characters. There's a big giant dog involved. I like the vet and all of the different people that she meets. And yeah, I loved all the characters. It was predictable, but I loved it. So yes, this was a fun time, which does mean that we are 3 points away from getting 2 more book tokens. So I have the 1 point left over from this one, and then 3 points and 3 points. So even though I know I have to finish this today, I'm thinking we'll try and do 1 more book so that I can get 2 more tokens. Let's see what I get. If I think I can finish it tonight, we'll do it. Tomorrow, I need to start reading all of my February TBR because I am very far behind since I've been doing this challenge. So if I can't finish this book, I don't know, we'll see. Let's see what we get. Let's do it this way so you can see my face. Okay, and then let's close, and this feels like a good one. Okay, but this one, oh man, this won't be an easy roundup. This one's definitely going to be an extra point. So this is another nonfiction, How Does the Sun Rise? Let me just grab the book real quick. Okay, so in the back it says, a brave and honest story that puts a human face on the international refugee crisis and asks us all to walk a mile in Sandra's shoes. This will cover the Gatumba massacre. The question is, should this be 4 points or 5? It's not long, but it seems like it's going to be depressing, which isn't exactly what I had in mind. So part of me is all like, oh, let's give ourselves some extra points. Okay, well, wow. I highly recommend this to everybody. Everybody should read this book. This was very well done. It is an eye-opening look into her experience, and although it is heartbreaking at times, the way that it is given to us is done in such a matter-of-fact way that it is somehow easy to digest while at the same time still being absolutely harrowing and heartbreaking. I don't know how to describe this because it's basically her experience having been a refugee for most of her life and then surviving a massacre of her people, and how that affected her and her life moving forward. I don't have words. Aside from, I would recommend this to literally everybody. I think everybody should read this. To think I was going to throw away this amazing book. Like, I was gonna throw it away. I was not gonna keep this. Because, well, mainly because my copy arrived damaged and I've had it for a really long time. I wasn't as excited about it. That is why this whole thing is so promising. I've been reading books that I've been putting off, that I haven't been sure about, that I was gonna throw away, and I've had great experiences with pretty much all of these, even the ones that were meh. And then on top of that, I've read several bangers. Like, some of these have been really amazing. Like this one, highly recommend. Like, I feel like everybody should read this book. Like, it's so good. Everybody should read this. And so, yeah, this has been an experience for sure. Unfortunately, as you can see, we have space for another book. So even though I really need to start focusing on those books next, I wanna try to get one more to see if we can fill that space. That is such a superficial reason to try and do that. It would give me another point because I have 2 points left over. So let's see. Let's see. Will I get lucky again? Am I gonna get lucky? Unlucky? What's happening? Let the fates decide. Oops. I don't want to mess up my little books. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go with this. Oh, okay. Another one that I've been debating getting rid of. I've had this on my shelf for so long that I've been like, maybe I'm not gonna get around to it, but we'll find out. Is this gonna be like another unexpected amazing book or not? I don't know. So I will, at the very least, start this, and hopefully we'll be able to finish it tonight so that I can officially start reading the TBR. And you might be like, what's the big deal? Like, you have plenty of time. It is the 17th, which means we only have 12 days left of the month, and I have 21 books on my TBR. I do have some time off next week, but that's a lot of books. Like, that's a lot of books. So pray for me. Anyway, that's for next week. Stay tuned. It's to see if I survive. For now, let's see if I can finish one more book. Oh, why do I do this to myself? Okay, hi. I've made some progress and I'm enjoying this so far. This is basically about 2 young girls having different experience. One of them in Minneapolis, hello, and the other one, I believe, originally in Trinidad. And so in Trinidad, her mother catches her with another girl and sends her to Minneapolis to be with her father because she's like, you are not a church-going girl. You need to go back there and learn, you know, better ways or whatever. And the other one in Minneapolis already, she is trying to come to terms with her sexuality and her feelings towards boys and girls and things of that nature, while also dealing with some health things. I'm pretty sure they're gonna fall for each other. I love the Caribbean accent that we have from our Trinidad character. The audio book does have 2 different narrators for each of them. I don't necessarily think they do each other's voice very well, but it's still pretty enjoyable regardless, and it's interesting seeing where things go. It is definitely YA, which I don't necessarily love, even though I do like the conversations that are happening, and I'm interested to see where it actually takes everything. Unfortunately though, I have a massive headache right now, so fingers crossed we're gonna be able to get through this before the end of the night. I'm probably going to just like turn off the lights, take my glasses off, and listen to the audiobook until I'm ready to go to bed. It is 10 p.m. and I have finished the last book. Success. We did it. I actually enjoyed this. This did some things I wasn't expecting. I liked it. So yeah, we've had a really good reading week. So really excited about that. Tomorrow I start marathoning, so if you want to see the chaos that I'm sure will ensue, stick around. I read 9 books for this challenge. This makes 15 points for the second batch of books that we did because I already redeemed the first batch, which means that I get 3 more book tokens. And each book token allows me to buy another book. If you stuck around this far, include either some sort of pink flower or stars or a moon, something night sky related, in the comment section down below. Happy reading, stay awesome, and I will catch you in the next one. Until then, bye! Look at that. Perfect.